Welcome to Tiki Talk, the podcast, with your host, Kevin, a.k.a. Shipnut. Are you ready? Let's go. Welcome to Tiki Talk, the podcast. My name is Kevin. I am your host. Today we are talking everything honey vodka with Vintage Distilling. If you haven't had this stuff, the flavor of this is just amazing. We're going to go into honey. We're going to go into how she came about this and everything Vintage Distilling. So without further ado, my guest, Silvija Dudor from Vintage Distilling. Silvija, welcome to Tiki Talk, the podcast.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. So you're waking up this morning. It's a hectic morning for you. Tell me the honey vodka. Okay. How did you come about the honey vodka?
So it was technically my husband's idea. Let's see. He hated corporate life. He quit his job. And then he decided to make a honey vodka. So the big idea for him was because he likes to cook, and he was also making this family recipe of like the honey liqueur, right? Because it's inspired by a Lithuanian family recipe on the side, kind of like, for fun as a hobby. So after quickly realizing that corporate life wasn't for him, he's like, well, these are the two things I love to do. Which one's going to make most sense for me? So the big idea and, eventually, hopefully the goal is to have, a giant restaurant, a distillery, kind of like experience, right? With tasting rooms and everything.
Oh, so you have the big picture out there now, the big goal.
That was the idea. That was the goal. But, we quickly learned that we don't have that kind of money. So we're like, okay, so let's start with, so let me go back a little bit. So 10 years ago, this idea came 10 years ago. That's when the craft brewery scene was really happening. So that's where, Eric was like, well, let's do the same thing, but make it with vodka, with spirits, right? Mm-hmm. So he did everything himself. He learned the laws, the permits. He learned how to make alcohol. He went to different people that make alcohol to see how it's done, to learn the process, to see how he wants to do it, and figure out the recipe. So all of that took a long time to nail down how we're going to do this, the plan, right?
I can imagine everything that goes into it. I mean, but I can tell you guys have definitely done your homework.
Well, and that's why it took us so long kind of to get here, right? So like I said, it's been 10 years in the making, and we 2017 is when we actually had our first batch that was done at like a co-packing facility. It was done at LA Distillery. Okay. Those are the same people that we ordered our equipment from. So we wanted to do a trial run just to see, because they thought we were crazy for doing honey, because honey is so sticky. It gets stuck in the equipment. It's a lot of effort to make the honey vodka.
Yeah.
It takes time getting the right combination to make sure that, there's no settling. Because, honey is obviously a lot more chunkier than vodka.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's like just getting that blend right. So there's no like ugly looking floaters, even though they're natural, but to the consumer's eye, they're gonna be like, oh, what the hell is that floating?
Yeah, we don't, we tend not to like things in our drink, even though, right. with everything, it's like, even if you like make a shot and it curdles a little bit, people tend to be like, oh, it curdled. It still tastes delicious, but it's just a texture thing. And people normally don't like things in their drink. Now, you said it's a Lithuanian cocktail to begin with, right? A liquor.
Yes.
So explain that a little bit to me. Let's go a little bit more in depth on that. And it's called Krupnikas.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in Lithuania, they used to make krupnikas back in the day when you had moonshine and during winter to keep you healthy and warm. They would add honey, spices, just to mask that really crappy moonshine flavor. So every family had their own recipe of krupnikas, right? Some add like different kinds of spices, some add different types of honeys. So everyone's unique. So we took that recipe and we modernized it. We're using obviously a premium quality vodka to start with, and then we add honey and blend it up. We don't add anything else, no other spices or flavors to mask anything.
Okay, so you modernize the traditional recipe, so you don't put any. Why don't you put spices in it? I mean, just to make something like a different product, or
I mean, down the line, maybe we'll do like a special edition batch. There's definitely different types of honeys we want to play around with in the future as well. Um, but we really wanted the quality of our vodka to shine through with the honey. We didn't want to hide our vodka in the honey
Mhm.
vodka. So,
I get it. Yeah.
yeah, we wanted to keep it, kind of clean and simple.
Well, you started off. Let's talk about the vodka because you also have just a regular vodka, also Vintage Distilling, which is crisp, clean, and smooth. You know it. So that's your base for this honey vodka, correct?
Right.
Okay.
And that the handcrafted vodka wasn't really in the picture um, until when we were starting to make the honey vodka, because we're like, well, we're making the regular vodka anyways. We tried it, we know it's good, so why not do a regular vodka too? We really thought that having two SKUs might be easier, or maybe even that vodka would kind of open up doors because it's a regular vodka. Honey one's like, well, people don't know what it is. But it turns out that vodka, surprisingly, like every competition we enter, it just keeps winning medals. Wine Enthusiast rated a 94. It was out of all the
That's
spirits.
that's awesome. I mean, that's a great score right there.
Well, it was the first competition or a review that we had entered. And when Eric received the email with the scores, it was just like, holy moly! Like we knew it was good, but it
Yeah.
was that good. It was rated number 7 spirit for 2022 by Wine Enthusiast, and that's
Wow.
between all the spirits. That includes whiskeys, bourbons, tequilas, everything, right?
That's
So it
amazing.
definitely.
That's so you must have felt like what is going on? You must have been surprised when you got those when you got those ratings, right?
Well, exactly, and don't forget, all of this was happening during COVID.
Yeah. Hmm.
So times were weird because we made this booze. Bars were closed. Liquor stores were like, we're good. Everybody was just so uncertain about it, and it's like you're trying to bring a new product to market. Because we were, trying to start local and hit the ground like the traditional way, just go to different bars, restaurants, but it just it's not that it wasn't good. It's just that's not what the focus one was
Yeah.
at that point. All these bars and restaurants were just trying to survive, not completely change their cocktail menu. So
So that had to
when
be a trying time for you and your family too, with just trying to get off the ground and trying to get going. That had to be very difficult for you guys.
well, after our first batch in 2017 at the co-packer, right, we quickly realized that we gotta get a move on and building out our own facility. So by the time, because zoning wise, we had to make sure we find the right location. So we settled in Glendale. It's a city. It's a private city. It is part of Los Angeles.
Hmm.
It's like 5 minutes from downtown, but it's not part of the LA County guidance when it comes to like laws, right?
Yeah.
So they had little pockets of industrial zoning where we were able to kind of start shop. And then when it comes to alcohol, you can't like file all your federal permits until you have a physical address. So that means you're just paying rent while you're waiting for your permits to come in. And of course, timing wise, that's when the government shutdown happened in 2019.
Oh, yeah.
So something that should have taken 2 months took 5 months.
Oh boy.
So then, and I was pregnant with my first one at that point. then, of course, by the time everything's ready to go, COVID happens.
Yeah.
And, a small city, their online system isn't great. Um, so when it came to, doing the build out, they made us build a fireproof room that cost us way too much money that we did not think we would have to build just because of the capacity that our tanks can hold.
Hmm.
Not that, they're holding
Well, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
all the time. It's just the full capacity of what we could potentially, make. So yeah, that was like,
So that's a huge hurdle
150,000.
to overcome for sure.
I mean, it was like 150,000 that we didn't anticipate to spend on, two walls because it had to go through fire engineering. Then we had to hire another company because the city asked us to get a second opinion on those blueprints, right? And like, these are very specific careers, right? So that
Yeah.
means you got to pay a lot of money to these people. And again, small city, and they didn't know what we're building. That was the first time. So they're just
Yeah.
trying to follow the California code, LA code, their city code, to the T. They were on us.
Yeah. Oh, well, of course. I mean, but see, this is the struggle that people don't understand when you're starting a brand like you did and stuff like that, is all the things that went on behind the scenes. That's the true struggle. I mean, because would you agree with me that, okay, making the product is easier than all the issues you had going into it? Or, I mean, I know it's not easy to make the product either, but
I mean, physically, right? I mean, it does take some effort. I mean, my husband dumps, buckets of
well, yeah.
money standing on like a ladder into the
Hmm.
tanks,
Yeah.
right? Um, but yeah, I guess the headache, when you're producing it, you have control of the things, right? We're
Yeah.
here, like everything was out of control, To me, I'm like, "Psh, we don't need walls, if it was up to me, we're good. Because obviously we're safe,
Yeah.
but it was just over the top what they made us do. And, we're still paying rent. LA rent is not cheap.
Oh, yeah.
uh, and because it's COVID, you couldn't have like crews working at the same time. So it was one thing at a time that we were doing. So everything stretched out. Um, and then finally, we have our facility. We're good to go. We have our bottle design nailed down. And there was a shortage of glass bottles because we source our bottles in US, and there was a shortage. So then we were able to get some of the bottles because we do get them printed on, right?
Hmm.
Send it to the printer. But it cost us a lot more than what it should have because they started adding all these
Oh,
surcharges
yeah. Hmm. Yeah. With
just to kind of.
the COVID surcharge, was added on everything.
Exactly. So it's like, we couldn't even buy like big quantities of the bottles because one, there wasn't that much, and two, it was just costing a lot more than what we had allocated the budget to do.
Hmm.
Um,
Well,
but
I
yeah,
had a interview with another company, and they were talking about their bottle shortage too, that they actually bottled one of their products in something that they didn't want that bottle to begin with, but they were like, that was the only bottle we could get. So
yeah.
they ended up just bottling it in that because that's the bottles they could get. So I've heard about the bottle shortage before.
Yeah, and I wish, we could have done that, but because our design is so specific to that bottle shape, um, since it's all like, printed on and baked on, however they do it, yeah, we didn't have any other options besides
Yeah, I
just
mean, that is a
figuring it out.
gorgeous bottle right there.
Yeah.
It is on there. It's beautiful design. Now, who came up with the design for the bottle?
It was a team effort.
Okay.
Just like there's been so many bumps in the road, even with a graphic designer, you tell them what you want and they just don't get your vision.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, money spent on things like that, we'd end up using. So, we had a friend help us, sit down with us, many long nights trying to figure out, all the different details we want in it, getting the mock-ups made, which, costs like, I think like $100 a bottle just to kind of
Well,
get
yeah. Oh,
a sample bottle. We had like 10 of those. I can send you some pictures too if you want to see all the potentials that could have been, because we kept going back and forth like, should we make like the bottle all gold, not clear? Should we make the bottle all black with just like gold writing on it? Because before we had a clear bottle. I'll show you. So this was batch number 1. And see the bottle, we quickly learned that this label was not going to work because once you stack them,
you can see you can't really read the front that much. Yeah,
exactly. So we before called it Krupp.
Yeah,
which was
I
short
see
for
that. Yeah.
Krupnikas. So then we're like, that's too confusing. Let's drop that. Let's just call it what it is, honey vodka. And obviously we added that, and then we stopped doing the wax dip bottle because they started exploding when it got too hot.
Really?
Yeah. So
That's crazy.
I know. So it's like, we learned, and it's like the barcode wouldn't scan. So yeah, this was the first bottle, and
trial and error for sure.
Yeah, and like through all the mock-ups, we put all the things we liked into one, and that's how we got this bottle.
Okay, awesome. Well, it's a beautiful, beautiful bottle. It's a beautiful product. Now, the honey that goes in there, where you source that locally?
So it comes from Orange County. We work with Sue Bee, so they're a beekeeper co-op.
Okay.
Because of the quantity we need, like a small beekeeper farm or like a private farm wouldn't be able to supply us because, I know there's so many bees, there's so many beehives, but they don't make they make very little honey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It takes a lot of bees to make a lot of honey. So what do you do at Subi? It's a beekeeper co-op. So all the, similar honeys get blended together. So what we use is a light amber honey, which should be the most consistent year to year. There are other honeys that we thought we wanted to do, but the consistency just wasn't there year to year. Or sometimes, like, there's years that it wasn't even available. But I'm hoping, again, as our business grows, we're able to do those limited edition once a year, the specific honey batches, because there's so many different honeys that we really enjoyed while, trial and error creating the recipe that we have now. But light amber honey, I mean, even like right now, from batch 1 that we did last year versus the batch we made a couple months ago, it's darker.
Yeah, just because of the honey, yeah.
Yeah, so it tastes still the same, but the color and it's almost feels a little bit more thicker because the honey is different.
Yeah.
You don't know where the bees are going to go.
Yeah, well, it depends on, I was reading some facts on honey, and the bees, to get honey, they travel like 55,000 miles just to produce that honey, and it's all different flowers.
Exactly.
Well, they do have a different honey that's just from one flower specific, but that's like crazy. But just the bees producing honey, it takes a lot of effort on the bees portion.
Exactly. And, consider all the, we have so many wildfires in California. We have, drought.
Yeah.
We have, it's just, you don't know what, the climate's going to be like, how that affects the bees and the honey, right? So
weather, natural phenomenon, that can all affect the harvest of the honey every year. So it's tough to get a consistent product, but you've done it, but it must be tough
consistent enough.
Yeah, consistent enough. Yeah, just hey, listen, just keep it around the same color and the same flavors, and we're good.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's difficult. We'll be right back. We're just reloading the cannons and filling our rum. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey guys, don't forget to go over to shipnut.net and get everything you've ever wanted. Go over to shipnut.net right here. We have podcasts, we have blogs, we have cocktail recipes, Amazon store, everything you need right here. It's a one-stop shop. Don't forget to click on that CW Spirits link. Get your favorite spirits delivered to your door. Also, don't forget, check out the merch shop. You can get all your favorite Shipnut merch right there at the merch shop. So check out shipnut.net. Guys, help me out. Go to shipnut.net, guys. Cheers. So the honey is locally sourced and stuff like that. But do you ever wonder about, with the bee shortage and everything else, that, because there is a bee shortage in the world, actually.
Well, yeah, because of pesticides and, like I said, all the, other natural and unnatural things happening. We do work with the BeKindFoundation.org. They're a local nonprofit here in Los Angeles that helps with bee conservation efforts here in around the area. So they have.
I got their website up now. So
awesome.
The Be
Yeah,
Kind
so they
Foundation.
have hives. Obviously, they rescue bees and they have hives. On donated land. So there's a place in Pacific Palisades and Culver City. They come and, like I said, rescue bees, when you find bees in a trash can, right? So they'll take care of that without having an exterminator involved and, killing the bees. So they take them, they rehome them. Or even, Mihai, he's with the Be Kind Foundation. He's the main person there. He'll go and bring bees, like, let's say, to your house if you have property, so they can pollinate and do their thing. And then he takes them back, because here, obviously in California, things grow, trees, avocado trees, orange trees. There's a lot of busy work for bees to do around here.
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah. And everywhere, people don't understand bees are not a nuisance. They're a necessity to, everything we do. Everything we eat needs to be pollinated by bees, and like all the fruits and vegetables, they all need to be pollinated. And bees are a super important of our everyday life. And people just think, oh, I got a beehive, I got to kill them all. But don't do that. Let them be.
No. Yeah, bees are responsible for a third of all of our food supply.
Yeah. Yeah, because, all right, I have a garden in my backyard that I didn't get a lot of fruit because it didn't pollinate correctly.
You gotta put a honey vodka bottle out there.
Right. Or listen, I'm trial and error, my first garden. So I'm going to put some flowers out there that attract bees. That way it helps the garden flourish, So that's my plan anyway.
Well, stick a beehive in there too.
Well, hold on. That's a little too close to my tiki bar. All right. So small business, you're starting out. COVID had an effect on your small business. What did you do to keep up with the big producers, like the big companies with billions of dollars in budget for marketing and advertising? How did you stand out and try to drive your focus and your dream forward?
I'm still trying to figure it out. Yeah, I mean, like I said, 10 years ago when the idea was born, there wasn't that many craft distillers out there. I believe since 2016, it's like quadrupled pretty much.
It's exploding. Like craft distilling yeah.
It's like we thought we had this like grand old idea, and clearly everybody else had the same idea. And then you add all the celebrities that just drop their name. They never bottled. They never sourced anything. No. They never, did any of that.
They're just the face of a product. That's the way I see it anyway.
Lines out the door, for at Total Wines for signings, where it's like, really? It's like, well, I'm over there, like trying to get people to try my product.
Yeah.
So just like it. I really wish that, like, as a society, we would give more love to small businesses versus just the fads, following the celebrities or the big brands. Like, there's enough room at the table for everybody.
Small business in its own. I try to, like, go to small mom and pop restaurants and shop local stores and stuff like that as much as I can. I mean, you have to go to the big names every once in a while, but because it's helping people. It's not making people super rich. It's paying for dance lessons. It's paying for a hospital bill that that family might have, or, God forbid that happens, but it's helping that family survive and put food on their table. It's not just filling a wallet. So that's why I like small business myself.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's like these big corporations, gosh, they have the money to do everything. And yeah, I don't know how to stand out. I'm just staying in my lane, doing, what I think is right, saying yes to every opportunity that comes my way, whether it's a tasting event, a podcast. So thank you for, helping us create a buzz about our vodkas.
Well, thank you for letting me be a part of Vintage Distilling.
It's
Now,
just like
listen, I know
we're
you're
trying
out.
to
You're out there.
organically
You're out
grow.
there working it because I see all your social media posts, and you are like always at an event, always promoting. I mean, you're grinding to get it out there.
Because it's like, with a lot of these events, they require sponsorship fees,
Mm-hmm.
and they require for you to hire your own people or work them at yourself. Um, Obviously, supply the alcohol. So it ends up costing a lot of money to do these events.
Oh
So
yeah,
right now, like, I can't do paid events. So right now, just like, we're giving away a lot of booze. I think we're giving away more than we're actually selling. But that's the kind of money I have. I don't have marketing money to spend right now. That's why I do everything myself. Um, so going to these events and tastings, or anybody who's willing to try it, I'm there.
yeah. It's tough to spend when you're struggling. It's you can't spend the thousands of dollars in fees that they want for a booth or whatever, depending on the event, because I know that can add up to hundreds
Well, it's
and thousands of dollars.
5,000, 10,000, 15,000. I'm like, are you guys crazy?
Yeah. I mean, and if you get into
Plus free
like the
booze.
more premier events, the price even goes up higher.
Exactly. I mean, we got a deck for like some party in Vegas, and it's just like it starts at 50,000
Yeah.
for just a couple second clip on the screen with your
Oh, yeah.
name. And it's like, does it make sense? Is that gonna catch somebody's attention for them to go online and purchase our vodka?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
so it's like, I'm also playing that game. It's like, is it worth it? Is it not? So I'm just testing everything out to see what works. So I got to
well,
do everything
the
right.
new advertising is social media. I mean, that's where you're going to get, in my opinion, you're going to get the most visibility and the most eyes on it, and it's a lot less expensive than taking like a TV ad or something like that out. And I know TV ads, they're expensive, and you get your visibility, worldwide in some cases. Um, but social media, and I know you're on social media. How is that helping your business?
Well, I mean, really shift. So, kind of like I mentioned earlier, we did go to bars, the whole traditional way, trying to sell it. But, not that the bars were, not interested, but a lot of them already had committed contracts with some other distributors, that pretty much had them in a corner where they can't have any smaller products unless it's all through that distributor, because the distributor, let's say, sweetens the deal, prints their menus for free, hooks them up with like swag and things that we just don't have,
Yeah.
you know um or we had one bar tell us, well, your vodka is great, but for us, you know our audience is college kids, so they're good with the cheap shit. And I was like, well, that's your choice.
But I see that
Yeah.
changing. I really do. I see the younger folks. Listen, I've been around the block a little bit, and my go to drink of choice was Mad Dog 2020 when I was in high school. So, but I see the younger people, they're getting more into the craft cocktails and stuff like that, and they're gravitating towards those and not more towards, hey, I'm going to drink a Natty Light and get blasted.
Yeah, and I agree, especially since now there's so many better options than, let's say, the brands that run the market pretty much, that are like the commons that you'll find at all the bars and restaurants. So yeah, it's definitely, I think, moving in the right direction where people are actually thinking about what they're putting in their bodies, even though it's alcohol. That's why, with the honey vodka, it's a natural sweetener. There's no simple sugars or anything that's fake in that. It's a natural sweetener. It's not like, cane sugar.
Well, and there's
So
health benefits to vodka, period. I mean, you got antioxidants, you got general, like, what's it called? You know more about honey than I do, but you do have health benefits with the honey
right,
that's
but
in there.
that's a thin line. I don't want to promote like, that this is a healthy product.
It's a healthy vodka.
It's better than all the other shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course. Yeah. I know we don't want to promote it's a healthy vodka, but it is. It's a versatile product because I've made a few cocktails with it myself, and I'm always thinking in my mind, what else can I do with this? Because it's so good. It's not super sweet
No.
by any means. It is, to me, it's more of a, like, I just ate some honeycomb itself, some raw honey, which is sweet enough, but it doesn't have that produced honey flavor to the vodka. Not at all, to me.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, we spent a lot of time formulating the recipe just to get it right where, it works well on its own, it works well on the rocks, it works well with any cocktail. Like you can literally add anything citrusy or, club soda, seltzer waters. And you have an instant, easy, delicious cocktail that doesn't have a shit ton of sugar.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be super complicated with a cocktail. I mean, my favorite cocktail is just vodka cranberry, which is
There you go.
very good with the honeyed vodka and the cranberry, by the way.
Thank you.
I have
Exactly,
not.
because cranberry, it's not that sweet, right? So the two just work so well
Yeah,
together.
the cranberry has that tart to it, and then the honey vodka comes in with that little bit of sweetness and the smoothness, and it's fantastic in a vodka cranberry.
Thank you.
And it's fantastic in a lot of things that I've done. I've done it with iced tea, and it's a nice honey
That
flavor
is
to your iced tea, and it's just two simple ingredients. It's vintage distilling and some iced tea, and it's absolutely delicious.
exactly. I mean, I'm not a bartender. I'm not a mixologist. I was in finance for all of 12 years before quitting and kind of focusing on this full time. So I needed a vodka that, I know how to use and with no experience required.
Well, it seems like you've had plenty of experience with it. You know,
Well, with social media, I'm definitely like, you kind of brought up the social media. So March of this year, we kind of, we're like, let's figure something else out, right? Let's do something else.
mhm.
And we started focusing more on social media. I started messaging people that I really liked their content to see if they were willing to try our vodkas, mailing it out to them. And I guess I DM'd the right person, Club Dirty,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and he kind of introduced me to CW Spirits, and
Hmm.
that relationship started, and now we're like married with CW. They do all of our online processing, and they ship nationwide. They have a great ambassador team that just makes wonderful cocktails, wonderful drinks. Drink Tester does the soda stream.
Yeah.
There's somebody who does the dice. Everybody has their own
Oh yeah.
style. And it's really awesome to see other people trying our vodkas and playing around with it and doing all these like fun things. Even like yourself, I love that video where you took a shot and turned into a bee.
Full disclosure, I am an ambassador for CW Spirits. I do that too. But here's the thing: CW Spirits, when I got on about a year ago, I joined up with them. They've given me the opportunity to taste and play with all these great different spirits, all these small craft spirits that I might not even ever go get when I'm in a liquor store, because we're programmed to get, the name brands because it's driven into our head. You know what I mean?
Well, you'll probably won't even find them at the liquor store,
Yeah.
right? Like our like footprint presence, we're at Total Wines in 3 locations in Texas, so
Mm-hmm.
Dallas, Houston, and Austin. And here in LA, we're in a handful of smaller liquor stores. We also do have Total Wines at Redondo Beach, San Jose, but it's not easy getting into a liquor store when you don't have a distributor, because in California we're able to do our own distribution.
Yeah.
So it's just us going to different liquor stores that kind of fit the vibe. And yeah, I mean, even for them, it's shelf space,
Yeah.
right? There's only so many things they can have. So yeah, all these unique spirits that CW offers, that gave us the platform to kind of expand our business, right? Online, it's the
Yeah.
future. So amazing that you can order anything alcohol, especially online. Yeah, shipping ain't is not cheap,
No,
but
no, not at all.
over 125 gets you the free shipping,
Yep.
which is definitely worth it. I know they're taking a hit for it because even buying my own shipping supplies, everything is so expensive. Those packaging peanuts, the little sleeves, and the shipping cost itself is very expensive because it's an alcohol. They surcharge you and upcharge you a lot of different fees because it's alcohol being
Yeah.
shipped.
Yeah.
So
And it's just shipping alone is um, outrageous everywhere. But people now are
yeah,
programmed, like take Amazon, for instance. They offer free shipping on everything. They lose billions of dollars on shipping every year, but they can
they do.
afford to do that. But they've
Well, because they have other revenues, right?
well, they've programmed the consumer to say, hey, free shipping, why do I want to pay shipping? And I had an online business before, and the shipping killed me.
Yeah.
People are like, okay, your product's good, but I don't want to pay the same for the shipping as I do for the product. And that's why I tell everybody, for CW Spirits, get that $125 threshold, get the free shipping. It's easy to do through
It's like
CW
getting a free
Spirits.
bottle, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, and you're getting great cocktail, great alcohols, great spirits. Try something new. You can fill up that cart, $125, simple. Or
Yeah.
you go on there and you take inventory of what you have in your home bar or your bar, and you order those bottles and you get the free shipping. To me, that's worth its weight in gold.
Exactly. I mean, that's the smart way of doing it, right? And I really wish that a lot of more people would be open to doing that, not just grabbing one bottle, but kind of like stocking up, or even buying a couple duos of us. You're gonna like it. Might as well stock up now.
Exactly. I mean, you're going to try it, you're going to like it, and you're going to go back for some more. I mean, I'm on my, what is it, third bottle of honey vodka right now.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, because I have people over and hey, try this, try this, try this. And I'm getting great reviews from my friends and family about the honey vodka. They're loving it. So,
Thank you.
I share it with everybody,
So I bet
unfortunately.
you have a line out the door around your house.
Yes, because my tiki bar is in my backyard, you know, but I got my friends and family come over all the time. We have a good time. Now,
That's fun.
now you hooked up with Total Wine, which is great. That should get you out there in the marketplace, because I know Total Wine is huge everywhere.
They are, and that was also very unexpected. Eric submitted the Total Wines request just to kind of be on their radar to see how the process works,
Mm-hmm.
and they approved it. They approved us in all 5 states that we wanted. So that was California, Texas, Florida, Nevada, and Colorado. Um,
Yeah,
we've
awesome.
been successful in finding because the way the system works, you have to have a distributor in every state. So that means, more middlemen people getting pretty much paid,
Yeah,
just for holding the license to store your liquor and deliver it. That's pretty much what you do, because they don't really go out and sell it for you. That's at least not the small ones. But even finding a distributor who wants to take on your product, because who knows,
Yeah.
they rather take something that's like more secure, that's a well-known brand that they know that sells, versus like a smaller one a lot of the times, right? So we've been successful in finding a distributor in Texas, so we were able to proceed with that Total Wines expansion. But we're still looking for somebody in Florida, Colorado, and Nevada, so we can complete those orders with Total Wines. But yeah, we're in Total Wines, and it's hard to get on the shelf, but it's even harder to get off the shelf.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because you
absolutely.
really don't want to screw this up. You only get one chance with them, right?
Yeah.
So and it's so in other states you can do tastings. In California, you're not allowed to do a tasting.
Oh, really?
So you can put it in like a little spray bottle and like spray it in the cup so they can smell it. But you can't do a physical tasting. So it's like, you're just standing in the vodka aisle with your bottle and be like, isn't this pretty?
See, I'm glad I live in Florida now, because I'll walk into my local liquor store and there's 4 or 5 people in there. Hey, you want to try this? You want to try this? And I'm okay. I'll try anything because I like to try different things. So I'm okay. Thanks. So
Right.
that's important, because
And learning all these laws, like state to state, it's so different what we can do, and like how do we shift our focus to what needs to be done based on regulations and things like that too.
Yeah.
So it's like we've been really focused on having tastings. We have wonderful ambassadors I was able to find in Texas for our tastings at Total Wines, but in California, I'm just kind of like, what do I do? Like, how do I get that recognition? Because we're not like a Spirits Direct, so we don't get the yellow card. They won't show all of our like awards or ratings.
Really?
Yeah, because we don't have that contract. I guess that's for like bigger brands.
Oh,
Um,
and that's
so-
incredible that they won't let you do that.
I mean, they let us do like the tasting demos, right? Which is nice, and of course they took a chance on bringing in like a new product. But yeah, it's just trying to figure out what's gonna work, because we've had like 11 in the morning demo, which like nobody really walked down at the vodka aisle at 11 in the morning on a Sunday. But then we had like a Saturday afternoon demo, and we did really well. So yeah, but again, it's just Eric and I really doing these events and tasting. So it's just like, how do we spend our time more efficiently doing that, right?
Yeah. Well, it's tough with the family too. I mean, because you're in a the spirits world, which is very demanding on your time, because you have to be at the right place at the right time. So that,
and a lot of late nights, like yesterday I was out in like Hollywood, till like 11 p.m. working on a project with somebody, and like you come home and my kids were awake all night because I have a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old. So a joke that I have like 2 toddlers and I have 2 toddler vodkas, because right now where our business is at, it's that toddler stage. It's anything goes.
Yeah. Well, they're probably like, hey, where's mom? And when you get home, they're excited to see you and stuff like that.
And,
So it's tough.
Sad to see me go a lot of the times, like, mommy, no, I want mommy. So yeah, it breaks your heart, but you just that balance.
Listen, at the end of the day, I have my children are grown adults now. They will understand everything that you're doing now down the road. Trust me, they will.
Oh, even now they understand. My daughter goes like, "Oh, Honey Vodka, you go to work for Honey Vodka?" I'm like, "Yeah, sweetheart."
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So this is what's putting the food in the refrigerator, and this is how we're having dinner tonight. And they'll get it. They get it. They might not like it at first, but they definitely get it.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of times, like I work my main job, I work 3rd shift, so I'm working all night, and my wife and I, we've always balanced work, because she worked days, I worked nights. So when the kids were young, I took care of the kids all day. Wow. I stayed up, took care of the kids, and then when she got home, I took a little nap and then went to work all night, and that's how we balanced it, because daycare was so dang expensive.
Oh yeah, then. I mean, here it's like like $3,000 a month.
Oh yeah,
That's for part-time. So
that's a mortgage payment.
I know
It's
it's just
crazy.
insane. You gotta, yeah. I don't know how much you have to be making to afford that.
So see, this is why it's important to support your small business, because they have those expenses that the big corporates don't really have. So everyone, just make sure you support our small businesses, because it's truly what runs this country is the small business. And I can't say enough about it, but you have to. You have to support all the small businesses, because they're what makes our country tick. And it's great to Black Sales Adventure Company just on YouTube. Yes, support small business. Black Sales, we definitely agree with that for sure. So we'll be right back. We're just reloading the cannons and filling our rum. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey, what's going on, guys? Do you have an interesting story that you'd like to tell? We're looking for you. Tiki Talk, the podcast, wants to talk to you. We want to help you get your story out. So all you have to do is head over to shipnut.net. Once you're at shipnut.net, just click right here on Tiki Talk, the podcast. You can see we're going to have a live stream here. We have our podcast feed right there. All you have to do is scroll down, say we're looking for you. So we're looking for guests. Contact us. You click on this. You get a little form to fill out. Send it, and we'll be in contact with you. So if you have an interesting story to tell, we want to talk to you right here at Tiki Talk, the podcast. Head over there, fill out that information, and we'll talk to you soon. Cheers. Where do you see Vintage Distilling coming up in the upcoming years? What do you see your vision besides the restaurant, bar, tasting room? Like, do you see different products coming on soon, or do you see?
Yeah, I mean,
I know it's a big expense, and I know it takes time, but like your vision, say 5 years from now.
I mean, I hope to be in, all the retailers. I hope to be a well-known brand name, where, like the way people refer to Tito's. Like, I want to be like, oh yeah, I want the vintage with, my club soda. I want to be that brand name where everybody knows.
Yeah, Tito's is definitely the brand name. I mean, they're all out there, but that's why people need to try your product, test your product, taste it.
Exactly. It's like,
because if you taste Vintage Distilling over Tito's, I'm going to pick Vintage Distilling over Tito's every time.
That's the thing, because like a lot of these brands, obviously us, we have much better stuff than the big guys, because we have a reason. We need to stand out. We got to do something different. We got to really focus on our quality, right? We're not just pumping out, millions of liters a year. No, we're a small batch. There's only so much that we can do. And, we're really focused on the quality, and, it's, attention to detail to the process. It's not machinery. It's all handcrafted. Like,
yeah.
I touch, that bottle probably 5-6 times, and so does my husband, just from bottling it, putting it down, putting the cap, putting the, the seal, using a heat gun, and then putting the back label and unboxing it up, building boxes. I do that. Eric does that. Sometimes we have friends who, help us out, but it's just us.
Yeah, it's the struggle is really,
not some robot machine in a big facility that's, just going in a conveyor belt. No,
yeah, like those big brands, they the big brands will bank in on their advertising budget to sell their product. Where you're absolutely right where you say, we have to focus on quality to stand out, which you do. So you don't have that advertising budget, but people need to taste your quality, and I hope to do everything I can to get, your product in their hands, because it's a fantastic product. Both of them. It really is. The first time I got it, I was like, okay, honey vodka, it's different. You don't see it on the market. And I tasted it. I was like, wow. what can I make with this? Because it was so unique and so different, that I was astounded by, okay, this is something here. I can definitely get behind it.
Thank you. And it's like every time, we get feedback like that, it's like, it really like warms my heart
Yeah.
because, there's just so much time and effort and ups and downs that's like, bottled up in that bottle. It's not just vodka. There's just
Yeah.
so much that we've gone through.
Yeah. The original party starter said, "Send my love." Justin, what's up? I just had him on last week.
We are working on miniatures, Justin, so we can have that party starter. But again, got to figure out the bottling machine and the bottle.
That'll work. That'll work. I'm telling you. Well, and you know what? The miniatures will actually get people to try it too.
Exactly. So we're, we needed to buy a forklift, but we figured we're going to buy the bottling machine for that first.
So you had to get the equipment.
It just have to be made.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're.
But you know what? That's how I taste the new stuff too. I don't necessarily want to buy a big bottle because I'm on the fence on how it is, and then I'll buy a mini and try it, and then I'm like, okay, I'm sold. Let me go get a big bottle.
Exactly, and I think that will definitely, help us out, and make it easier to have people try our product, right? Because it's like, yeah, our bottle is about $40. It's, I wouldn't say it's like too expensive because tequilas are like $80, $90. I mean, there's other vodkas that are like over $100, right?
Yeah.
Expensive, and because it's so time consuming to make it, that's kind of where we gotta price it at. And we're made in Los Angeles, not in the Midwest where you have a lot of space and rent is a lot cheaper.
Yeah. Just in time, Nola said, I can't wait for the mini bottles.
Me too. Trust me, I've been on Eric's house about that.
And he says best honey vodka, period, and amazing owners.
Aw. Well, he wrote owns, so I think he's been drinking that honey vodka already.
But he's probably about a bucket of 99s in the. Justin, we love you, man. Yeah, he's awesome too, and what he has. But yeah, the mini bottles would be a great for you.
Yeah, for sure, and just giving it out, like I said, like samples, instead of us giving away those, the 750 bottles, to events and, other opportunities that we have. It's like, well, this is all we can give. We can't just pour in a cup and give it to you. We have to give the full bottle. It'll help us in that sense, where like people can still try it and get their own mini bottle.
Yeah. So people can go on vintagedistilling.com and they can learn more about your product, your locations you're at. They can see the awards that you won for your product.
The website I built it myself with zero web development experience. I just needed something to get my point across. So we are working on redoing the website. With all the amazing content that we've received, all the amazing reviews we've gotten. So yeah, hopefully soon you'll see a much nicer, updated version.
Well, listen, it's still a clean website. It's not terrible. It's a nice, clean, crisp website where you can see everything on there. I mean, you have recipes, you have, locations and everything, so you can contact
my primary is Instagram. So for, most up-to-date locations, the coolest recipes, the latest buzz, definitely follow us on Instagram because that's one thing I've learned how to use now.
Yeah, well, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, they're all important. TikTok is super huge too. And I know you're on all of them because I truly, love to see the interaction you have with the creators that we work with. And I appreciate that for sure. Because we work with some brands that don't have as much engagement with us. They're just like, oh, just make our videos. But I can tell, I mean, you're watching what we're doing and it's amazing. And I love the feedback that you give and the interaction that you have with us. And I'm sure the rest of the ambassadors can say the same, because we do love the interaction with you.
Aw, thank you. Yeah, like I said, it melts my heart. It makes me excited to see my product, somebody using, whether they're ambassador or not. It's just, I always want to give the love that they're giving us. Because, every interaction, every video, every post that anybody posts, it's just like they're helping us grow. They're here in the trenches with us now. And, hopefully when we're a big company, we can have a giant party for all the people who were there from.
Hey, I'm with you. I'm all right. Yeah, let's go. So, listen, if you guys don't know, on shipnut.net, Vintage Distilling Honey Vodka is my spirit of the month this month. And when you click on it, it takes you directly to CW Spirits where you can purchase your own. I highly recommend Vintage Distilling Honey Vodka. If you like honey, if you like sweet, I mean, it's not too sweet, but it's definitely a unique flavor.
Alcoholic honey. That's how somebody described it. It's alcoholic honey. I'm like, yeah, I don't know why I didn't think of that myself, but you're right.
Yeah, it kind of is, yeah. But it's unique and it's something different in the market. That's why, it's definitely something to get your hands on, if you can.
Yeah, get the hands sticky.
Yes. So more great things to come from Vintage Distilling in the future. Listen, I'd love to see a traditional Krupnikas in the works. That'd be a good special event, like one little batch to bring out to
100%.
Yeah. So I think that would be a good win, but that's just me. I mean, I know it's a cost expensive thing, but it would be great to see out in the market, like a limited release batch of Vintage Distilling Krupnikas. And
oh yeah, I mean, I have plenty of ideas. It's just,
it's getting them to market. That's the difficult part.
Yeah, and it's like, we gotta earn that, customer loyalty where, people know that Vintage Distilling puts out the best, spirits out there. So then, when we're gonna add another SKU or a limited edition batch, people are gonna be like, I know that's good shit. I need that in my hands right now.
Yes, everybody needs it in their hands right now because it is good stuff. Really, truly, it is. Oh, Silvia, it's been a pleasure talking to you today.
Thank you. Thank you gosh.
We hope to have you on the podcast again. See, you were nervous. You were nervous, like, I've never done a podcast before. And
I was ready to take a shot for courage.
All right, well, let's go. Hold on. Let's go. Let's do a celebratory shot of your podcast debut.
We didn't crash the computer.
Right? We did great. All right. I'm going to go straight in. Well, I don't have a shot glass here because I'm not at my bar. I'm inside my studio, but I'll do it straight out of the bottle. Vintage Distilling.
Cheers.
Cheers. Man, the flavor of that, guys.
I take a shot of it. It amazes me.
It just hits different. I'm telling you. You get that sweet and that nice, crisp, clean vodka. Very, very little burn. Very little spice. Well, there's a little vodka spice in there. But the sweetness offsets it so much that it's just crisp, clean.
It's just the perfect balance.
It definitely is the perfect balance. Silvia, it's been my pleasure to have you on Tiki Talk, the podcast. We hope to see you someday soon, for sure, with your adventures. We want to keep up on you now. Because
maybe when I get the minis.
Yes.
We'll do an update.
Absolutely. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Just in time, Nola says, can I vote for 100 proof bottle?
I mean, I'll make a limited edition just for you.
Oh, that's awesome. He's good people, man. Just in time, Nola. If you don't follow him, go do it. And if you don't follow Vintage Distilling, go follow on all their social media. It's Vintage Distilling throughout every platform, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you can keep up with Silvia and all her adventures. There's great content on there. You can keep up with the honey vodka, the regular vodka. I mean, I'm telling you, this girl is out and about promoting this vodka like crazy. Everything. You just go to Instagram and see her posts. She's out on boats. She's at events. She's pushing this. And it's awesome to see, All right. Black Sails Adventure Company says I'm going to go follow them now, which is awesome.
You.
Thank you, Black Sails.
It's because you said boats.
No, hey, listen. But it's truly enlightening to see, how much effort you are putting in the work. You guys are definitely putting in the work to promote this brand. And it's wonderful to see you grow. And I'm very happy to be part of it.
Thank you.
As much as I can. And we loved it. It was a great show. I appreciate you coming on. I hope you had a good time. We did.
Oh, I had a blast. I can't believe the hour passed by so quick.
It goes quick. So, guys, definitely get yourself a bottle of Vintage Distilling. If you see it in your local store, or you go onto my website, shipnote.net, you can get it right there. Go on to CW Spirits. They can get it through your website too, right?
Yeah, which just links to CW.
CW, yeah. Well, CW is great because it's shipping to 46 states, so that's the best distribution that you can have. So
100%.
Yep. So you can use anyone's code from CW. Mine, you just click the link and the code's added for a discount at the end. And Silvia, it's been a blast. I appreciate you, and I love to see what you guys are going to do in the future.
Thank you. Fingers crossed, right?
Oh, yeah. We'll get you there. All right, Silvia. We'll talk to you soon. All right. Cheers.
Bye.
All right. That was Silvija Dudor, owner of the great Vintage Distilling. What a great conversation we had. Guys, definitely check out Vintage Distilling. And we'll see you next week on Tiki Talk. We'll talk to you soon, guys. Cheers. Thanks for watching Tiki Talk, the podcast. Remember to hit that subscribe, like, and share. Until next time.